Hey guys, Jen here. So today, continuing our series on how to sell more books, is the number one thing that you can do to get more reviews. So I'm sure you know as an author that when you have reviews on your books, when you've got more reviews and you keep getting more reviews, that it's easier to sell books, because when readers know that other readers like your book, they're more willing to cough up the money to actually try the book out, even if they've never heard of you, even if they've never, followed you before, that kind of thing. But you may also know that sometimes it's a challenge to get reviews. And so I would say the number one reason for that, and I know this is going to sound kind of silly, but the number one reason is because people don't ask enough. So yes, you might ask your friends and family, or you might, ask some people randomly, hey, can you leave a review? Can you leave a review? But the thing is, those aren't the right people to ask unless they're actually reading your book. So if you have friends and family that actually, well, actually, I take that back. Friends and family, you don't want reviewing your books because Amazon tracks this stuff. So if you're doing anything weird with your reviews, if you're trying to give away free stuff to get reviews, if you're asking your friends and family to leave you reviews, don't do that kind of stuff because Amazon doesn't like it and they will knock you for it. Sometimes they'll knock, your book. Sometimes they'll actually take the reviews right off the site, and then you're back to square one. So bad idea, don't do that. But it is important to ask people to write reviews. So the best place you can do this is at the very end of your book. So I don't think enough authors do this, and even I'm guilty of not doing this enough, and it's something I'm working on right now, putting it into my books currently so that this can be an easier way for me to get reviews. But have a page at the end of your book that just asks people to leave reviews and links them to the place on Amazon where they can do that. So super simple. If they're reading it on Kindle, they can easily click through the link and go to the site and check it out. It's not like they have to be on the computer or anything fancy like that, but just ask them. And don't just ask them, but tell them why. So I think a lot of the times people are willing to do stuff when you don't just ask them to do it, but you ask them or you tell them why you want them to do it. So it's not just, oh, hey, can you leave a review? But then you're telling them why they need to leave the review. Well, I'm an independent author, and as an independent author, it's more of a challenge to get people to, be interested in your books. So I would love for you to leave a review if you enjoyed this, and if you, think other people should read it too. You do this at the end of your book. That way, if they don't make it to the end, they're not somebody who can leave a review. So that's the whole, obviously you have to write a good book. You have to write a book that's worth somebody reading all the way through to the end. But if you've done that, and if you've done the due diligence on that, you're good. And now you just need to ask them to leave you a review. So, you could write a note at the end of the book and just give them heartfelt reasons for why you want them to leave you a review. Tell them that you're an independent author. Tell them a little bit about your story or your journey to getting this book out there. People love to be invested in other people's stories, and they love to support people when they know why they're needing the support. So it's super helpful to just put something at the end of your book that lets them know, hey, I would love for you to leave a review if you like this. Really simple. And no one really does it. And it's crazy because that's a really good way to get reviews. And yeah, obviously it's not the fastest way to get reviews, but it could be if people are reading the book. So the more you have people reading it and the more you have reviews out there, the more willing that people are to check the book out. If you're on Amazon, you could enroll in KDP Select, where people can actually borrow the book from, their Kindle, and then the review thing is there too. So now it's like, well, they borrowed the book for free, and there's a really good chance that they'll leave a review because you asked them to, and they got the book for free. So in their mind, well, it's helping out for them to leave a review. Now, they didn't get it for free because they obviously pay for a subscription to Kindle Unlimited, but it's free as in they got to read it for free. So anyway, these are just some really simple ways that you can get more reviews. Honestly, I don't think enough people ask the right people. So you might be asking friends and family, you might be asking random people, on a Facebook group or something to leave a review, but that's not the best way. The best way is to ask people who've actually read the book or people who are reading the book. So that's why having the review message or a promo or something at the end of your book to just tell them to leave a review is actually a good way to get more reviews. Another way, and this is, I wasn't even going to say this, but another way to get more reviews, and this kind of would be something you have to work on from the beginning, but a really good way, especially if you write nonfiction, is to keep the book focused and succinct. So rather than writing this huge book that's 500 pages and, covers 6 different results that they could create for themselves, just focus on one result, and that's it in the book. It might be shorter than you expected, but it's totally fine. Short books are actually starting to become trendy now. And the great part is when the book is short enough and when the result is one single thing and people can actually implement it and find out whether or not it works for them and get results right away, they're much more willing to go back and write a review because, number one, they made it through the whole book, which is not very, it doesn't happen often. It's kind of crazy, but most people stop after about 20% into a book. So if they finish the whole thing, that says something about your book. But second is that if they actually got a result because they read the book and they were actually able to take action on it, well, they're more willing to write a review because it actually helped them and it actually did something for them. And so they come back to let people know about that. And it's something like, because the book is so short and the result is faster for them to achieve, they actually remember to go write the review, or they think about it because it hasn't been months and months and the book's been sitting on their desk piling up with other books and they're not reading it. So the best place to ask for reviews is definitely at the end of your book. But again, having a book that's more shorter or that's more focused on one result is another great way to get more reviews. One of my books is pretty short. It's a 15-minute writer. It's about 37 pages, and that's including the back and front matter. I purposely did that. I wanted it to be a short and sweet read so that people could literally just read it in like an hour and then take action on it that same day. And that is my book that gets the most reviews. I've got over 41 reviews at this point. I didn't ask for any of them. There's not even a promo at the end of the book asking for it. But the reason, I think, is because it was short. And so people not only remembered, they made it through the whole thing and they remembered what they actually learned, but then they were able to implement it and get results and come back and share that with people. So definitely make sure that you are putting a prompt or a promo at the end of each of your books to let people know, hey, you'd love for them to leave you a review. I started seeing this in a bunch of books that I'm reading, and it reminded me, like, a lot of times people don't think about it. I know, like, we think, oh, in this digital world, everybody thinks about leaving reviews, but they don't. Like, a lot of the times they just read a book and that's it. They're not thinking, oh, I need to go review it, especially because a lot of the times, people are still in that mindset of, like, I buy a book at a bookstore, where am I going to go review it? Like, they're not thinking, oh, I need to go to Amazon. I need to go to barnesandnoble.com and review it. So you're just reminding them. It's a simple little note you put in the book that says, hey, I would love for you to leave me a review. And that is a great way to get more reviews. So asking, obviously, is really important, but asking the right people. So asking the people who are actually reading the book and getting those people to leave you reviews. So that is my tip on how to get more reviews. It's a really simple thing you can do right now. Start inserting those pages into the end of your books and see what happens. So if you want 15 more tactics to help you sell more books, be sure to check out my free training. You can get it at jenniferblanchard.net/15tactics, 15 tactics. And I'll catch you next time.